Wednesday, January 12th. It's 9:15, 9:17, and I'm just left Stanford heading to Lexington for another day of dashing without being a top dasher. There is a video that will be coming out. It's just I'm trying to do one video a day and then one right along a day, and this video is constantly just being pushed back. And it's video about when you have when you're multi-apping and you're taking DoorDash and Uber Eats. You want to make sure that you're not losing any time on DoorDash deliveries, while Uber Eats so far has not created me any issues, even if you're 20 minutes later than you normally would. So, a lot of people wonder why I went to Florida or I went to Hawaii or one of those major international places where people come from all around the world to enjoy a week off or have a vacation and come back bringing something with them. And when I mean something, I mean either a cold, either a flu, either a virus, or anything, down those lines. And here's the reason why. And you probably already just figured it out when I said when people come from all around the world. When people come from all around the world, they bring it to that place. I used to live in Florida for 8 years, and I'm talking from experience. In Florida, as a resident, as people that we live there, people will bring in, the first service personnel would be the first one to get infected, and then it will actually, because service personnel, they still have to work, they still have to service people that coming in, so they go out and they continue spreading within the community as well as spreading with those that actually coming in. And it's this non-stop spread. Unless you're sitting at home with a mask on and breathing filtered air and never going outside, then what's the point of living in Florida if you're doing that? You might as well live in Alaska. So people that mostly live in Florida is because for some reason they fell in love being on vacation year round whilst they're going out and making a living. And a lot of us, actually even me, yes, there were times where I would actually go out 3 to 4 times in the morning to the beach. But there were times where I couldn't, and it would go months before I'd go out to the beach because I was busy. But the idea of being able to go to the beach whenever you want, whenever you have that opportunity, is the reason majority of people actually move to Florida. Now, when you are there, you're getting put up with all these things are being brought in. Something breaks out in Europe. Somebody flies from Europe, brings it in. Something breaks out in Florida, in California. Somebody flies in, brings it in. Something breaks out in New York, brings it in. Now it gets spread. And the 7 days or the 5 days you're in Florida or the 14 days you're in Florida, you're guaranteed to get exposed because you're not going to quarantine yourself. That's the reason you came to Florida, is to enjoy, is to have that vacation. Doesn't matter what's in here, what's in sinuses. Doesn't matter how you feel. You're gonna go out and you're going to enjoy. And when it's time to go home, that's when you're gonna feel it the most. Because first of all, the anxiety and depression that kicks in because you want to actually stay longer. You want to enjoy that vacation longer. But for whatever reason, you're forced to go back home to the reality. And that depression, it might be not even noticeable, but there is that slight depression. It weakens your system even more. Some people start having a digestion problem. And your immune system is actually inside in your digestion tract. So it weakens your system even a lot more. By the time you land on your airplane at your destination at home, or by the time you reach by your car home, your immune system is weakened to a point that if you felt nothing while you were there, By the time you got home, you start feeling everything. And next morning you wake up and you're like, man, something's wrong. Something not good with me. I feel something that I picked up in Florida, or I picked up on the way home. But the thing is, you're probably infected with whatever it was for the last 5 or 6 days in Florida. You were spreading it without even showing most likely any symptoms. Because you were at very high when it comes down to your emotions, feelings, and the digestive tract, even though it changed, even the food most likely have changed, but because your emotions were really high, your immune system was really strong and was trying to fight it off. And you were not even noticing it. But the time when everything slipped, when you started going home, is when you got weakened and you started falling apart. So guys, I'm planning on going to Florida probably in March. And I know I'm probably going to come down with it. I'm kind of a little bit different. I suspect certain things in life. The last trip I went to Florida was last spring. I rented an Airbnb. I paid over almost $2,500, if not more. I don't remember exactly the dollar amount. There's a video you guys can find it, especially in this channel. Just type it in the Airbnb. Even just type in air and you'll find the video should pop up. The place was junk. For 7 days that we stayed there, or the 9 days we stayed there, the place was never worth those money. When I came in, I was in shock. My excitement, my feelings, all that stuff that was all the way up in the top as I was going there, it suddenly dropped. By next day, I was off. Whatever I picked up on my way to Florida while actually driving there, not even actually already there, but while I was driving there, whatever I picked up before moving into the unit, all what actually happened brought my immune system down, brought my digestive tract down. By next morning, I was already 70% feeling bad. Did I have COVID? I have no clue what I had. But it was bringing me so fast down because of that depression, what I moved myself into. And Airbnb was refusing to give me any money. And the only thing they were offering me, either I stayed there or they provide me something else. But something else that they provided me during that 7 or 9 days that we stayed there, I had to move 5 times. Come on, who wants to go on a vacation, plan the vacation, and then have to move 5 times from a place to a place to a place to a place for that 7 or 9 days? Hey, good morning. How's it going? More McFly. Florida, never been. Hey, there are places, if you're making money, there are places you want to actually visit. That is Hawaii, that is Florida. Some of those places I've been, and I would recommend every person to go because they're places nice to go to. How is the app going on? Give me about 2-3 more minutes, remind me again on the app. Like you said, these are the places I've been to. Hawaii, very nice place. It is something to experience, especially if you have to go with someone. Very nice place to experience. You do want to go to Hawaii somewhere between late fall and you want to be no later than early to mid spring. You want to be out of there. You do not want to go to Hawaii in summer. I went to Hawaii in summer, was not great. Florida, you want to go there sometime after September, but do not go there during summer. You want to be out of there by mid-May. Summer down there is not fun in Florida. But those are places where I went, and I thought, guys, beautiful place. Why? Much more. I like the warm water. I do not like the hot water like it gets in June, July, August in Florida, where the temperature of the water gets to 88, 90 degrees. But I do enjoy the water in 70, 80 degrees in Florida. Or, under 80 degrees. I love the warmth down there. But I do like to travel. But I get bored quite quick if I see the same scenery over and over. But some say that I was a fish in my past life. That's why it kind of, attracts me to warm water and salt water especially. But that's just me. So, that's why Pedro and other you guys that actually traveled to Florida, traveled to other places where a lot of people come to, those are like New York would be another place, because a lot of people coming into scenery of Washington, D.C., another place that people come in, those will be places where you will pick stuff up and you'll bring it with you home. Now, it was younger, I might want to check out what is it. Hey, everybody makes a choice. The downside of Florida is hurricanes, red tide, which is harmful to health, even though authorities refuse to admit it, and tsunamis. Those are the three downsides. Otherwise, I would be living in Florida or in Hawaii year-round. Especially that place I would actually want to retire to, but because of those three things, I'm not sure if I want to risk, especially a tsunami. You don't have enough of time to run. Now, with the app, nothing has changed. I have spoken with the investor yesterday, or the night before that, which kept me up till 2 in the morning. Okay, just text as I was reading, I lost my mind. Which, kept me up. Yesterday, I made only $70. Whatever you guys seen on the dash along. I tried sleeping. Then I went and ate a little. Tried sleeping again. I wanted to sleep, but at the same time, I had a hard time falling asleep. Eventually, I fell asleep. Woke up around 5:30, and I didn't feel good in my stomach. Went to 2 or 3 gas stations to use a restroom. They just said nope. The restrooms are closed to public. So I eventually said, I'm gonna just drive home and go home. So I just went home and kind of slept from 8 till this morning. That's kind of story about yesterday. I did speak with an investor, like I said in a previous video, not excited. The investor I have. Based on some of the commentary that the investor did said, a lot of greed is in that investor. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to get along with that investor in long term, because I have a problem with greedy people. But that's the only investor I have. Hopefully by the end of this week I will get a response from the developers on the pricing to the alterations of the app and the final app price, and we'll need to make a payment. And unless a miracle comes around with an investor in the next couple of days, another investor a couple of days, it could be what it is. I will be able to control the first probably year of the app with that investor, but as more he learns how things work, because he's busy right now to learn much about the app, he will actually demand more control. Right now he's giving me 50% control, which I'm a 50-50 control on the app as a shareholder, but also refusing allowing me to bring in other people as shareholders onto the platform to help out. So yes, there is downsides, upsides. My grammar and spelling is the down weakness. I would love somebody to be on a platform as a partner and shareholder that is had experience at least a year in delivery field and had experience in restaurants and food areas long, because those are food area is where I do not have much experience. I did work, for 2 months there as a delivery driver. I worked about 4 months here or 5 months with DoorDash as a delivery driver. Right, I didn't work much in restaurants where people started off as teenagers, in McDonald's something. I never started off in the food industry as a teenager or a young adult. I do have some experience in the past working for a grocery store as a night stalker, but that's about as all experience I have in that field. So I know the first year I will be able to have majority control, even though 50% as a shareholder, because in 50% either side can do whatever they want. In other words, until CEO comes in. Now the investor wants me to be as CEO of the company at the same time, which now I would have to, in order to have control, I would have to vote without the other side present, and then give written commands to a CEO, which again, back to myself, in order to carry out. That's why, for the first year, I feel confident in control. Second year and third year down the road, not sure how that's going to play out. Hopefully by that time, the investor will understand more and will start agreeing and making wiser decisions. Now I'm going to go to comments. I'm going to look through some of the comments. Okay. Sorry to hear 250 for me yesterday. Honestly, maybe if I do, but see, I drive an hour there and I drive her back, so that puts me already at 12 hours 15. I might, but then I have to be a top dasher, no questions asked, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to be on a schedule. Then I might push to 250, but to get 300, I have to get miracle orders. And again, thanks to Uber Eats is where Uber Eats is helping me to stay above $20 an hour average. If not be Uber Eats, with DoorDash, I'll be under $20. I think you are good, but you need a better target business than just general food delivery. Guys, this business that the app that I'm talking about, food delivery is a beginning. From there, we will expand when we become successful and we reach certain, we resolve all problems that arises. We get acceptance in the marketplace, and customers show us prove that we are on the right track. Restaurants will do the same, drivers will support us as well, and that's why I'm hoping to have this driver community who would actually help us move in the right direction, as well as restaurant community, where restaurants will show us what are their weaknesses, where they need help, so we can actually go beyond just providing an app, providing other services as well. And then customer community, where as well as when we have a problem with a restaurant and a customer, and restaurant customer cannot come to a solution before it actually becomes a legal issue. We would love to see where the restaurant community and the customer community actually this question arises between those two, and then community gives a direction who might be actually how it actually to handle a situation before it actually goes into legal issues. So there is ideas, but plan is actually when we get to a certain point is actually expand into other things. but actually expand it in a way where it will be fair and reasonable. Like, let's say grocery deliveries. Instead of having a driver shop, we'll have shoppers at the store that will actually stay there based on shifts they select, and they'll shop the store. And when the order is about to be complete, shopper actually requests a driver. Drivers comes up and, like at Walmart, gets loaded and gets out. So driver would have to go into the store, pick up that car that actually loaded with groceries, load his car. So there will be things, but there is other things that I'm actually thinking about expanding into. But it has to be done in a way where customers will understand it and support it money-wise, because like shopping, it's an expensive option, and the customers used to understand that those options are expensive and need to pay a fair amount for the shopper, pay fair amount for the delivery driver. We also will be looking into option of where customers will be requesting drivers to pick up whatever it is. Let's say they place an order directly with the restaurant and they want a driver to pick it up. That's going to be another feature we're looking into expanding to that. So I have a lot of things that I have in my mind in expansion, and expansion other thing, deliveries, and I'm not going to go into those areas because right now, because there's also a saying in my country, the baby horse that was just born, you're already talking about riding it across the country, and it still has even problems standing on his feet. So I don't want to be one of those that taking a small horse and already driving across the country when I still working on getting the app built. But yes, there is plans in areas, but my way of seeing is about solving problems, not about creating something that doesn't make sense to anybody. It's about solving problems that we have in industry. Right now, we have a huge problem in food delivery, in groceries delivery. Taxi service is somewhat right now resolved its issue. I'm talking about with Uber and Lyft, lack of drivers, and Uber and Lyft decided paying more, charging customers more. So that area starts resolving on its own somewhat. But again, when we get there, we'll look at that option again and see if there's any problems I still see in that area, and do we want to move in that area or not. But things we'll be looking into. But what I do see, and you can see that with closed eyes, with nose eyes, is actually food catering. Of course, catering, you need to learn more about it, but food catering, which of course, when I'm in restaurants, I already have the food taken care of. Adding a catering to the same restaurant, it's all about coming into the restaurant and saying, hey, you already have drivers. You already have categorized drivers by groups, because that's only one of the options I'm looking into adding in the first stage of the app, is where restaurants, as they add drivers, they'll categorize drivers right away. If it's a small delivery, larger delivery, or a catering order delivery. So drivers will already be catering. All the restaurants have to do is offer catering on their app. So if they select that catering, they'll build out the catering menu. Boom, catering is there. So because when I received that app that they have initially, I started seeing, as I started making a description for adjustments. And the horse is dead in the field. I started seeing how some of the things can be implemented a lot more easier. Now let me look back at maybe not. No. If we do at Walmart, it's going to be our personal store shoppers, not Walmart shoppers. No, it's not worth it. And it would have to be, customer would be willing to pay the price. You can't count on the help. I think you are thinking good, but you make a better target business than just. You can't count on the help of anyone. No, that's the better plan. I had a similar one for grocery shopping. You are for. shoppers. Well, I probably wouldn't allow that. Honestly, you wouldn't be better off going to the right share. I think Uber is taking its to shift back to right share. With right share, I need to have millions of dollars accessible to go back in rideshare, because I would have to self-insure passengers, and I would have to self-insure drivers, because drivers refusing to get commercial insurance, and that's where I'm having issues in that field as a taxi driver. Those of you that not know, I have built a taxi driver app a couple of years back, and I ran into that issue. But because of lack of funds, I couldn't proceed, because I couldn't self-insure, and like Uber and Lyft does, they're right now self-insuring. And other insurance companies looking at the Uber Eats accident records, and they're saying, we're not going to insure for anything less than a certain dollar amount of a fare. And so where it all stands is in the beginning of these food delivery. That builds, creates the flow of money, creates the business model that we need, and then from there, a lot more doors will open up, a lot more things I'll be able to do at that point. So, some people say, oh, money is evil. And I'll say this: no matter how evil the money is, it's all about in whose hand the money is in. One person can go greedy, another person can take the same amount of money and change the future of the world by 20 to 30%. One person can be greedy, another person can go and start building living shelters for homeless, free food for hungry. It's all about how you handle those money, not about how what the money is. And in my situation, when they get and I have what I need, I will turn those into things that actually will make a difference. First, solving the problems that the world has, because by solving the problem that the world has, like, right now we have with the food delivery, it allows me now to have access to more money. Now, by having access to money, I can actually take that money and actually make good in the area where my return might not be as good, or there might be no return whatsoever. And that is actually what I'm seeing the way to go, the way that I need to proceed in my life. I had enough of experience, enough of challenges in my life, and it's all about now is going back and pay it back and doing good. I do know that when my mission here on this planet is done, I will go back probably home. Probably most likely will go home. And based on my experience, I probably will be encouraged to move on into other places and repeat the same thing in those places as well. My understanding, this is actually my first trip here and pretty much anywhere else, and it has been a big learning curve for me, because everything is different on this planet. So even the greed part, the way that people will step over you and step on you, I'm not sure who it is, I'm not taking it during this live. And so yeah, it's been kind of hard for me. As a child, I couldn't understand how people not able to share, how that is even possible not to share. You have two candies and not giving it to a friend, not sharing with a friend. For me, it was just too hard. I just couldn't understand that. And today I still have hard time sometimes understanding certain areas of greediness. For me, it's just still hard to wrap my head around that. How can people actually just ignore others? Even I do understand, I go out and I try to pick the best delivery that I can and move with it, but when that 225 comes around, I feel sick that I have to reject it and send it to another driver, and not having a clue that next driver is going to receive that 225, that he will have enough of understanding not to take it. And it makes me sick that I'm sending it to someone else to take it, and challenge them, will they take it or not? So for me it's hard, but I'm learning. That's why I created that send it down the river, because to deal with it, to cope with it, send it down the river. Hopefully the second person will send it down the river, and eventually it will feed on the DoorDash failed system long enough that it will actually turn into a $5-6 delivery, and eventually they'll take it. So that's from where the send it down the river concept for me came from, because otherwise I don't know how to cope with it. It's just hard. Sorry guys, it's just my mouth is drying. Finally I found a solution. Instead of buying all these drinks and who knows what, buy just regular water, no matter what brand it is, unless you prefer a certain brand, because there's a difference in water between brands. Go to a Dollar General and they have natural lemon juice. And what you do, and you just add 2-3 teaspoons, tablespoons based on your taste, to that bottled water. So you have bottled water with you. And the lemon juice is what I do. I would actually take the full bottle of water, drain it off a little, freeze it, and then in the morning, because the juice when you open it has refrigerated, you add a couple of teaspoons or tablespoons, whatever you prefer. But what I actually do is I actually add more, and then as I go along, I'll have other bottles and I'll pour that water as it dilutes, as it melts, and I'll keep it in one of the hot bags, and allows me to have that soury water taste without having to drink just plain water, and then the stomach. Not like for me, the stomach doesn't really like that. It's just a plain water. I need to have a little of something. So yeah, that's how I deal with liquids lately, and been helping me quite a bit. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted. Right now is a period of time where it's just patience. I have to wait until developers respond with pricing. One thing that worries me, they have not responded to my email stating that they received an email, but lately my communication with them was they were not responding, so I'm considering that to be normal. But when that as we proceed, we'll see. If I don't get nothing by Friday night, I will send them another email. Hopefully they just missed it. And so guys, be successful, go out, make the money, be safe. Don't forget, you do need to take a break as you do these gig works. And if you're looking to go on vacation to those tropical places, you want to go there before it gets really warm. Otherwise, maybe take some time off during the summer, as a lot of people will be traveling as well, and I'm probably food delivery won't be as busy. Hey, there's a lot of things you can do, but you do want to take a break. Like for me, why actually I'm looking at March, taking a break. First is still fantastic. The water will be warm enough in Florida. That's one. And two, it's just right before I seriously start signing restaurants up, and it's gonna get really busy with me with this app. So I want to actually take a week off, relax, enjoy, maybe do some dashing while in Florida, relaxing before I get really busy, because it's going to be crazy for me, and I know it's going to be crazy, and I am ready, and I'm ready to do whatever it takes to rebuild that energy so I can actually go and conquer it when that time comes. So guys, what's going on today? Stuff on the road, plywood on the road. Yesterday was a big mallet on the road, one of those hammers, but those are used, for demolishing. It's like, we had a little snow. Now it's like everybody's losing everything out their trucks. So, enjoy life. The most important is enjoy life. Whatever you do out there, whatever you choose to do out there, make sure that it brings enjoyment to you and to your family. Take care.